Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Cody Proctor. Mark is off tonight. Let's get started with a look at what could be a slight warm up in the works for us this week, but we're trading in bitter cold for some snowflakes. Let's go right now to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo to find out just how many inches of snow we could see and when. What are you expecting at this time, Jeremy?
I think about 24 hours from now we'll start to see things change. But one quick thing of note, we sit at 7 degrees right now here in town. It doesn't sound that impressive, but it kind of is. We're above zero just about everywhere until you cross into Montana. Libby, yeah, 4 below, but you're used to it. So you guys, thanks for holding strong for us. Everywhere keeps warming up though. Look at this. We're 5 to 15 degrees warmer than where we sat 24 hours ago. And that's a sign of an overall shift in our weather pattern. We have winter storm warnings in the mountains and in eastern Washington, including the Palouse, and central Washington's under a winter weather advisory for our incoming storm. That hits tomorrow night. Starts over the Cascades and over on the west side. Then it moves in. I think us midnight-ish. We'll start to see it overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. We get a few inches on the ground or a couple inches on the ground by the time I'd say you head out the door Wednesday morning. We'll catch a brief lull. Notice there's this little lull in there where it looks like we almost don't have anything. Emphasis on lull because we go a couple of inches and then it comes back with vengeance as we head into the second half of the day. I think we're talking some incredible snowfall, but look at down to the south. That could impact snowfall totals drastically. That change over to a wintry mix or even rain. For us, it is all snow with how cold we've been as of late, and it looks like it moves out by the end of the day on Wednesday. Cody said how much? Here's my snowfall map. It is quite a bit different than the map you're going to get just about anywhere else. And the reason is I have learned a few lessons from our recent snowstorms. I'm ignoring some of the models that give us more because those models have been historically absolutely terrifyingly wrong in every single snowstorm we've had so far this season. That being said, they could be right this time, but I bumped our totals down. Either way, 4 to 7 inches of snow in Spokane, 6 to 10 in Coeur d'Alene, 24 over Lookout Pass. Snowfalls all day Wednesday. A quick break arrives on Thursday before our next round moves in.
Appreciate all that you know, Jeremy. In the meantime, tonight, businesses are doing everything they can do to stop their pipes from freezing. The grain shed in Spokane shared this video. They had to give a steam bath to their brewery with boiling water, practically. And just a big warm up right there. Now, it's not just businesses struggling to stop the freeze. Homeowners are too. We spoke with the people at Platinum Mechanical in the Valley. They say they responded to more than 350 calls this weekend as people all across the region woke up to frozen pipes and no running water.
Yeah, it's not been fun. The kids haven't been able to take a bath or a shower. We can't do laundry. We can't, obviously we can't take showers. We can't run the dishwasher.
And as pipes continue to freeze, the people at Platinum Plumbing will keep responding to calls until past 11 at night. New tonight, a strike in the Midwest could have a ripple effect at schools and restaurants right here in the Inland Northwest. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk reports for us tonight.
Drivers with U.S. Foods in Chicago walked off the job last Monday after failing to negotiate a contract. Now the union representing them is trying to expand the picket line across the country, including here in Spokane.
They want to address dozens of safety concerns that our negotiating committee has asked for. Contract expired on the 29th. We gave them an additional week. Came to no resolution. Today celebrates 1 week since we walked off the job in Chicago.
Bill O'Connors is with Teamsters Local 705 in Chicago. We saw him Monday near the corner of Francis and Freya.
We're out here coming across the country, extending our picket lines, because this affects all the members at U.S. Foods. These are some of the hardest working guys in any industry you will run into.
U.S. Foods supplies many restaurants across the Inland Northwest. These trucks also deliver food to Spokane Public Schools. The district signed a 1-year, $5.9 million contract last August with the distributor. We reached out to the district to see if SPS is aware of a larger possible strike and if the district has a backup plan if food service is disrupted. A spokesperson said they'll be getting back to us. The union in Chicago says truck drivers want better pay, health care benefits, and higher safety standards, among other things. KREM 2 reached out to U.S. Foods. A spokesperson tells us their current proposal includes increases to both wages and benefits. They went on to say, quote, as a show of solidarity with Bensonville, Illinois, Drivers, some union members, are temporarily respecting the picket line at our Spokane U.S. Foods facility, and we have activated business continuity plans to mitigate disruptions to our valued customers.
These guys have a very, very hard job out there right now, and they're not asking for anything they have not earned. They're not being unrealistic, right? You know, safety and medical benefits are key to every American these days, and these guys are just fighting that fight right now, and I'm out here proud to be with them.
In Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Let's turn over now to Nightbeat for a quick look at the day's top stories. Washington's Attorney General wants to block a $24 billion mega merger involving the state's two largest supermarket companies. Kroger and Albertsons announced their merger proposal more than a year ago. The suit claims it would diminish choices for Washington's shoppers and eliminate competition that keeps grocery prices low. Together, the two companies own more than half of all supermarkets in the state. A statement from Kroger and Albertsons companies expresses disappointment with the Attorney General's decision, saying they care deeply about their customers. But today, Attorney General Bob Ferguson said a merger would mean fewer choices and higher prices. He also addressed the grocery store workers.
We have deep concerns about the impacts, not just on Washington consumers at the grocery store, but the workers themselves and the potential loss of jobs for workers all across the state.
The Attorney General's office says Kroger alone employs 21,000 workers in Washington. That is one of the focuses of the lawsuit filed today. An update now on the Moscow murder case. A judge ordered the state to release a portion of the investigative genetic genealogy records to the defense. The records are sealed, so the public will not know what information is given. Police arrested Koberger for the murders of 4 University of Idaho students more than a year ago. And oversight of Boeing's production line is increasing following concerns over the company's 737 MAX 9 jetliners after a door plug flew off an Alaska Airlines plane mid-flight. Boeing announced this afternoon it's making internal changes to its quality control actions. Boeing's CEO Dan Steele says the move is on top of the steps the company already takes. Also today, the FAA says it plans to ramp up oversight just days after it announced the launch of its investigation. That was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website, KREM.com. The Iowa caucus officially kicked off today, leaving Republican candidates now hoping their efforts over the last few days will pay off. Former President Donald Trump's projected frontrunner, while Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis battled it out for second. Coming up in less than 10 minutes, we've got more from Iowa and where the current numbers stand. And in national headlines tonight, Rex Heuermann's expected to be charged with a fourth murder in the Gilgo Beach serial murder case tomorrow. Authorities have previously said he was a prime suspect in the death of another woman, but they didn't have enough evidence to charge him in that case at the time of the other charges. He was arrested last July, and he's charged with the deaths of 3 other women whose bodies were all found in high weeds near Gilgo Beach on the south shore of Long Island. Heuermann's connected to the deaths through DNA found on a discarded slice of pizza found in the trash outside his office. The principal that was critically injured in an Iowa high school shooting is now dead. Longtime Perry High School principal Dan Marburger passed away early yesterday. He had been hospitalized for 10 days after he stepped in on January 4th to protect his students against the school shooter. Officials say he sustained serious injuries while ensuring staff and students were able to exit the building. Now to development in the case of a Fruitland boy who's been missing since 2021. Tonight, one of the suspects in Michael Vaughn's case is speaking out, hoping to clear his name. At the time of the 5-year-old's disappearance, Stacy Wandra lived in a home with his wife and 2 other men. Police name them all suspects and say they know what happened to Michael. But Wandra maintains he has no idea what happened to the boy and thinks the case may hinge on Adrian Lucian, one of the men living with him at the time.
No. I would never have thought Sarah or Brendan or Adrian would. Maybe Adrian, but I wouldn't have thought Sarah or Brendan would have ever done something like this. I was not even home at the night of the disappearance. I know that at that nighttime, Sarah, Brandon, and I had left to Cuna to go recover his tow's vehicle.
His backyard was excavated last year to search for the boy's remains, but none were found. For the full interview, head to our website, KREM.com. Tomorrow, a Washington state judge will hear arguments on if former President Donald Trump can appear on the March presidential primary ballot. The challenge was filed in Kitsap County last week. It contests Trump's eligibility for the ballot based on the insurrection clause in the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. That clause bans any who engaged in insurrection from holding any elected office. It's the same argument that Colorado's Supreme Court used to rule Trump was ineligible to be on their primary ballot. The U.S. Supreme Court agreed to hear a challenge to that ruling in February. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.